Hey guys, today is Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and get started with our notes for today. We are starting a different topic that we've gone over already. It's called the Constitution era. And so here what you see on the front of this screen is going to be the capital of the United States, and this is where our legislation is housed. Remember that the legislation is the law-making body of our nation, and it consists of the Senate, which is 2 representatives per state, and the House of Representatives, which is based on the population of your state. So for Texas, being one of the larger states in the nation, we have several representatives in comparison to something like, let's say, Wyoming, which has a lot less of a population. Okay, kids, today what we're going to get started with is the topic of the AOC, or the Articles of Confederation. So here on our notes, I'm just going to type that out as my subtitle. And the Articles of Confederation became the first form of government in the United States, or in America, in 1781. This was our very first constitution in the United States. And through the AOC, we say AOC for short, so we don't have to say Articles of Confederation every time. Through the AOC, the government only had one branch, which is very different from today. Do you all remember how many branches of government we have today? If you said 3, you are correct. We have the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches. Okay. At this time, the only branch that was there was Congress, and they didn't have the same power that our Congress has today. They had the power to declare war, to create treaties, and to borrow money. So not very much power going on there. So over here on my side, I'm just going to go ahead and start my notes. And for the first one, I'm just going to put the AOC was the first constitution. And this happened in 1781. Okay. That's why I like to remember it as the first constitution, because now we're running by our second constitution in the United States. Okay, the next one, the AOC had one branch of government. And that one branch of government was Congress. And if you'd like, you can put that it had the ability to declare war, make treaties, and borrow money. But I'm not going to do that for this one. So now I need to go and I need to find a picture. Okay, so here I just put a little mini picture of the Articles of Confederation, which was the first Constitution of the United States. And now I'm ready to go ahead and move on to my second slide. Our next slide has to do with the weaknesses of the AOC. One of the main weaknesses was that the government had no power to pass taxes. Now, that is an issue because if you can't charge your citizens for common things like military, like mail systems, like their well-being, then you're going to have a very, very poor government. Okay, so there's no income coming into the government. So, no power to tax would be the first one. Okay, let's go on to the second bullet point. The government could not regulate trade. This meant that every single little state, at that time it was called a confederation, so all parts of the confederation had their own ability to trade. So you're going to start having rivalries between the states. Like let's say North Carolina and South Carolina both began trading with Italy, and it becomes a rivalry. Well, that can cause a lot of issues. So not being able to regulate trade is a big no-no for countries. We'll put no regulation of trade. The next one, this one is a really significant one. In order to change a law or to approve something by the government, 9 out of the 13 states would have to approve. That is a large percentage that was never ever met. It was very difficult to get that many people to agree on something. So 9 out of 13 states had to approve change. And this meant changes to laws, changes to the Constitution, and that creates a system where it's very stagnant and there's very little growth. Okay, this one is huge. There was no executive branch. What does an executive do? Who is the executive of our nation? If you thought or if you said the president, you are correct. So what this meant is that there was no president to enforce laws. I'm just going to type that out right over here. No president to enforce laws. Okay, and then finally, the states had more power than the national government. We're seeing that a lot today. Not that the states have more power, we're supposed to have a balance of government, but we are seeing the importance of states, especially during the coronavirus epidemic, because states are doing more of the decisions for their people. Since there's no national government that's since the national government is not forcing us to stay in our houses, now it's going down to the states, and you're seeing several states closing off their businesses, like California, like Texas, like Florida. But then you're seeing other states that are still maintaining business, and every state is able to do what is best for their little area, and that was very much like the Articles of Confederation. The states had more power than the national government. Now, this becomes a problem during times of war when you need all your states to come together and be under one general law. So states had more, oh, I almost forget this, more power. Okay. Now, I love this picture of the Articles of Confederation because it shows this boat and it's just being crashed over by all these waves, which represent the weaknesses like no power to enforce treaties, no power to create laws that were caused by the Articles of Confederation. And ultimately, because it was such a weak constitution, our nation had to get rid of it and create a new one. Okay, so today we talked about the Articles of Confederation. We talked about how it was the first constitution and how it only allowed one branch of government. We talked about some of the weaknesses, including not having a president, how difficult it was for the states to approve change. 9 out of 13 had to approve. That there was no power to tax, so our nation remained poor, and that states had more power than the federal government. Okay, guys, that is it for our notes today. I hope you are following along. If you have any questions, don't feel free to email me, send me a remind. Also, don't forget that we have started the daily too, which means every day I'm checking to make sure you're doing your notes and either the assignment or the quiz. Okay, so you have a choice between the assignment or the quiz. Have a great day, y'all. Take care.